All right, well, Thursday night, time for a Las Vegas Triathlon Club member spotlight. I'm John
As
Mercer,
Bob runs
president of
away.
Las Vegas Tri Club, and that was Bob Gamble doing a disappearing act and a reappearing act. Hey, Bob, how's it going?
I'm doing okay. Finally, a little bit organized here, so I'm
Yeah,
good, John. How are you?
doing good, doing good. And this is gonna be fun talking with Laura Riccobene, and I had to check and make sure I knew how to say her name, and that's really great. So I love it. And just a quick note, we might hear some special podcast guests, Charlie and Rosie.
Charlie and Rosie, yes.
So
Yeah.
this is gonna be fun talking about triathlon with Laura and how she got started into triathlon. And I'm really interested to hear her thoughts on the races, everything from a sprint to an Ironman. But before I get too far, I'll turn it over to Bob for the official introduction.
Thank you, John, and welcome, Laura. And
Hi.
actually, I love saying your name because it just kind of rolls off your tongue like poetry. We have
Thank you.
Laura Riccobene on our podcast tonight. So thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
And for folks listening, Laura has done, her first triathlon was with the club, joined the club in 2017 and did a sprint with us. And then for some reason, signed up for a full Ironman. It's like, that is a jump that I don't know anyone else who has made that jump, Laura. So before she did the full Ironman, Laura did an Olympic and at Pumpkin Man, and then did IMAS. So we're going to get started on and ask her how she jumped around like that and made those advances so quickly. But first of all, Laura has one of the most interesting email handles I've ever seen. It is Gorilla Newt. So tell us, Laura, how did you come up with Gorilla Newt?
I did. Well, gorilla is my favorite animal, and I used to play laser tag in high school, and my handle name was Newt. So
Okay.
Gorilla Newt, AOL, is the 90s email. So I
Yeah.
haven't updated. It's been with me since I was a teenager.
Wait, are you still using AOL email?
That's correct.
I love it.
Don't knock it, John. I still have an AOL email address.
Oh,
It works.
So,
you've got mail. All right.
and that's fun too, because laser tag was one of my favorite
Oh, yeah.
games when I love laser tag.
Yes.
So we're gonna have to get together a group here and go laser tagging because that's fun.
It sure is. Yeah.
So your first race when you did a sprint, I'm not sure what can you tell us? And we're going to talk about your first sprint. So before I start jumping around and asking you about the Ironman leap, what made you get into triathlon? What made you want to do a sprint in the first place?
Sure. Well, I used to swim in high school. I was on the swim team.
Okay.
And then in 2010, I started running. So I was running until I did a marathon in 2016. And after that, I was like, okay, what's next? What do I do next? So I was like, well, let me look into triathlon because I used to swim. I can run. I enjoy biking. I was never, an avid biker, but it was fun. So I looked up and I found, a sprint to do, triathlon. So
What's interesting? Go ahead.
oh no, I just wanted something more. I'm like, what's next? Give me something else. Let's, keep going here.
When I saw your time at Oceanside, I said, she's a swimmer. And I figured that you had done something in either college or college or high school.
Yeah, I was just
time.
a recreational swimmer though. I mean, I did 1 year in high school, but I just swam for fun,
You swam fast for fun, so that's
Yeah.
that's so after you did your first sprint in 2017. Wait, how did you sign up for an Ironman right away? It's like that's pretty bold.
I signed up for the Pumpkin Man sprint and I did the club sprint. And after I did the Pumpkin Man sprint, everybody in the club was posting, in November, they were all posting how they did the Ironman Arizona. And really it was Jody, if you remember Jody,
Carl.
yeah, I really didn't meet her, but I was just watching, and it was so inspiring seeing all these stories. They're like, we did it, this, and I was hooked. I was like, well, I'm going to do this.
I
So when
do
the
that.
early registration come out, I was like, sign me up, let's go.
So
Yeah,
that's cool.
Oh, I love it. That's great. I think that's what's neat about doing these events is you surround yourself with other people and they're having experiences and
yeah,
it's fun talking with them and then hearing about them. And it is inspiring because then it's like, oh yeah, no, I want to try that too.
that's what, yeah, that's
But I'm
exactly what it
curious.
was. I didn't never knew what an Ironman was.
Yeah,
I just barely did my first triathlon.
that's amazing. All right, so walk us back to your marathon. Which marathon did you do?
Okay, so I did the rock and roll in Arizona.
Oh, nice.
I
All
did
right.
that
And
one.
what got you to do a marathon even?
Well, I started running in 2010 because of my sister. She was running. I was like, okay, well, I can do that. And
Hmm.
I had just quit smoking. So I was like, well, I need something to keep me busy so I don't relapse and start that again. I'm like, well, if
Yeah.
I'm running, there's no way I can
Yeah.
do that. So I started running in 2010 and I was doing the rock and rolls here. And I did a bunch of other races here. And then there was like a double down. If you do a
Mm.
race here and you do a race there, or so many, then you get an extra medal. I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Well, so I did the half here. I went to Arizona. I did the full,
Yeah.
and I got my 3 medals.
Oh, that's great. And
You know,
that's fun. I mean, that's where, you're going for, a little bit of bling or medals like that. I think
Yeah,
that's neat. It gives you a little bit more sort of something to shoot for.
right.
you must have some incredible ability because you're talking about marathons and Ironman kind of nonchalantly, like, oh yeah, I
Yeah.
just got up and did a marathon and I did another one. And I, no,
Yeah, well,
and I did an
I mean,
Ironman.
that's yeah,
So that's fine. That's very impressive.
yeah, yeah.
When you did your first sprint though, what was it like? When had you been doing much open water swimming, or was that your first one?
That's why I signed up for the club in the summer of 2017 because at that time they were doing the swims at Lake Mead. I think it was every Wednesday
Yeah.
they'd do a
That's right.
swim, and I would go out there for the hour, and then we'd do the potluck after. And so I was okay in the lake.
Mm.
I was okay with that. So my first sprint was good.
Well, I love it that it was another challenge after a marathon to then turn around and say, okay, my next challenge is going to be a triathlon. That's
Yeah.
pretty neat to be able to make that transition. So, what was your first race like? Like, how was the swim, bike, and run?
My first race, it was great from what I remember. I really don't remember me as much. I actually signed my son up too, and he did it. So I was
Ah,
more like cheering him on, and it was just great to be there with him doing that.
oh, that's
Um,
Did the
awesome.
same. You both did the
I
race
don't
together.
remember any hiccups or anything on that race. It was just joyful, really.
Uh,
You both
did
did you ride, kind of ride together and did the race
Nope,
together?
nope. I waved at him as I was going by. I was like, bye, yay, go. I let
You
him
met
do
each
his
other at
thing.
the
I did
finish line,
mine.
that's for sure.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah. My daughter was out there with the sign. My parents were out there. It was a really good
Oh, that's
experience.
fun. That's
Yeah,
real fun.
that's the
And
tri races.
can I ask what bike you used for your first sprint race?
Um, I used a Live Avail. Actually, I
Oh,
still have it. Yeah, it's just a
a
regular
nice
road
road
bike.
bike.
Yeah, just a road bike. And my son used my hybrid bike. So
Ah, so did you both train together for it?
a little bit. Yeah,
No,
yeah, we
or
did.
is he just one of these young kids that just could do it without?
Oh no, he trained. He
Yeah.
did.
So how did you go from marathon training to thinking about training for sprint triathlon? What did you do different?
You know what? I really didn't have a plan.
Hmm.
I just swam. I did the club swims. I rode my bike on the weekends with my dad, and I ran a few mornings a week.
That's great. I think, sometimes we overlook that once you just start putting the three sports within your lifestyle, you can do it. And
Yeah,
I think that's a
definitely.
really neat message for people to hear is that you don't necessarily need a plan to follow. other than you enjoy being out there swim, biking, and running.
Right.
You know, and what's also really great about that is that, you know, you're even following or enjoy enjoy the journey and not,
Yeah.
you know, the philosophy
Yeah.
and not just not. I hope you don't hear that in the background. But
We do.
oh, geez, I'm sorry. Should have turned it off. But it's cool that you were doing it. You know, I don't want to say relaxed, but it wasn't like you were, you know, killing yourself to prepare for it, and you did well. So it's like there's something to be said for that, for riding consistently and working out consistently and making it part of your lifestyle instead of, you know, getting ready for a race and hurting yourself like I
Right.
do.
Right.
So no, that's
So-
great.
So do you remember your first finish, or were you, or, you know, with you and your son doing it? I mean, was that sounds like that was the big memory, but do you remember finishing and feeling accomplished at that point, or?
Probably. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't have any ill feelings at that race. Mm-mm.
Oh, that's good. And so then how soon after that did you sign up for Pumpkin Man, or did you
So
already have that?
I was already signed up for Pumpkin
Okay.
Man. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
And-
did the,
And when did you sign up for the full Ironman?
so I did Pumpkin Man in October, and then when you
Okay.
guys did the November Ironman, so a month later,
Yeah.
when that early registration came, I was in
Oh, wow.
You signed up then, right after Pumpkin Man. Then.
right after. Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
I had
Well,
to make sure I
Pumpkin
got
Man.
in. I hear it's a really popular race.
Yeah. So Pumpkin Man wasn't enough of a challenge, so.
And you did the Olympic Pumpkin Man.
So I actually did the Olympic Kokopelli in September
Okay.
of
Yeah.
2018.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2 months
Pumpkin Man did
before
you
the
do,
Ironman.
sprint? Which
I'm sorry?
Pumpkin Man did you do, the sprint or the?
Just the sprint. Yeah,
It's not just a sprint when you're climbing that hill.
that's
up to
true.
Boulder City.
That's true.
All right.
Yeah,
I love it. So
you've
did
done
you,
tough races.
Do what?
Go ahead, John.
I was just going to say, so did you enjoy Pumpkin Man? Obviously you did, because now you're looking
I
at
did.
doing the
I did.
Ironman. So that's a
did.
good challenging race. So
We have a good playing field here. We can practice.
yeah, that's right. That's right. All right. So now prepping for the Ironman. What did you do to get ready for that?
Okay, prepping for that one, I got a coach.
Okay,
I got a coach. He gave me the plan, and I stuck to the plan.
good.
You know, I didn't deviate.
Mhm.
Just constant.
And how was it to stick with the plan? Did you have issues where, you know, you were either working too hard or not hard enough, or, you know, did you adjust your plan as you went or just stuck to the plan?
I don't adjust the plan. If you give me the plan, I'm going to make it work. I got
Mhm.
to, because that's the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
and
impressive too.
that's the real benefit of having a coach, is it takes away that sort of mental stress of even putting together a program, because it's like, wait, is this the right way to do it? Is this not the right way to do it? And if you got someone who knows how to do it, then it's just a matter of following it. So that's excellent.
I knew this was the big race. I needed help.
Yeah.
Once I
So
realized what I got myself into.
Yeah. So how soon did you realize, oh, this is what an Ironman is, when you started down that path?
Yeah, pretty quickly. I was all about following the club, page, and I
Mhm.
just was taking in all the information I could.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's talk about Ironman Arizona. And I'm sorry, which year was that?
I did 2018.
2018. Okay. And what was that weather like that day? Was that the rainy day, or is
No,
that
it was not rainy. It was nice
no?
weather.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
a little cool in the morning. The swim was
Mhm.
very cold, but the bike was awesome. The run was fine. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. So on the swim, so as you're headed to the swim, that first Ironman, I mean, what's going through your mind as you're headed towards the start?
Oh man, I got in the corral, and I remember we were stuffed in there like sardines, waiting to go. And I was so thirsty. I was like, I am so dehydrated. I was like, is there water anywhere? Can I get some, like, is there a water table? I thought maybe there'd be a table of water. I was so free. People are like, oh, here, take my water. I'm like, yeah. So I found somebody with a phone. I called, my helper. I'm like, can you bring me some water, please? I'm dying. I'm here. I'm stuck in the middle. So it was very, I was so nervous.
Yeah, yeah,
That's all I
it
can
is.
say. I was really nervous.
And so that was a rolling start. So you were in that long line of
I'm in a
people
long line
in
forever.
in the mid. That's right. That's right. And in the middle. And did your husband get you the water?
They did. He did. He came up, and there was a lot of people trying to give me their water too. And I was like, no, no. I was like,
No.
yeah, I did. I got my water, and then I relaxed, and
Yeah. No, that's
everything was
good.
fine. I didn't realize
Kind
I
of
was going to
scary.
stand there so long.
Yeah.
Starting off dehydrated, starting off thirsty.
I
It's like,
know.
wow, that's crazy that you recovered in
Well, yeah,
good
I
weather.
mean, I didn't think about let me bring a water bottle with me in here. I just got in there. I'm like, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And was the coach instrumental in getting you a nutrition plan for the race? Did you have
Um,
that, or
no, I didn't
did you
have
figure
any.
that out yourself?
I did just trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I like the nonchalant way you can do this. It's like, yeah, I
Yeah.
figured it out. I figured it out. Now, everybody who does a longer race will, well, I can't say everybody, but it's typical to come up with against some problems. So did you have any issues with when you were doing this? I mean, it was a full Ironman, your first one.
All right. I did. I didn't realize it, but I did. So during the swim, it was so icy cold,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I got out and I changed and I was doing I mean, my body was frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It was so cold. I got out on the bike, and as I'm doing the bike, I'm putting on the sunscreen, and the whole back of my neck was chafed from the wetsuit, and I
Oh
hadn't
no.
realized till so long after, and that was, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So then, by the time I got to the run, it was so terrible. But they had people out there with Vaseline, so
Yeah.
I would put the Vaseline on it, and that helped. But yeah, that
Yeah,
wasn't a
that
big deal.
one, that water is cold, and then two, that chafing can, yeah, you don't realize it until
I had
later on.
exactly. I had no idea.
Uh,
I can imagine having
so the swim went well though overall.
It went well. I got hit a few times. I came out with a scrape on my arm because I do have a sleeveless wetsuit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, besides being super cold. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just kept chugging along.
All right. So then you jump on the bike and still chilly in the morning.
It
So
was.
how did you dress for that part, or did you just have your tri kit on and?
Yep, I just had my tri kit and got moving and I warmed up.
Yeah, 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 because you head out and you go up sort of a slight hill, and that does get you going a little bit. So do you warm up by the time you got that first turn? Was it a two loop or three loop at that point?
I did a 3 loop.
It was a three. Okay.
Yeah,
So by the time you get to that first turnaround, you were
yeah,
warmed up pretty good.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. And then how was the rest of the ride? Was it did you have wind to deal with, or what was that year like?
I don't remember a lot of wind. It was just pretty flat
Mhm.
and kind of boring, really.
Yeah,
There's not much to see over
that's a good
there.
race.
I mean, kind of when you get to the end, it's a little green, but
yeah, that's
I
right.
don't remember a lot to look at.
Yeah.
Was that a good race for a first
It
Ironman?
was. It was. That's why flat.
Yeah. Now, what's the longest ride you had done going into that race?
I did Goldilocks. I did the 100 miler.
Okay, okay. So you had a century under your belt.
So I had one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had you
Oh, that's
run off the
good.
bike? Had you done any runs off of the bike to see how it was like to transition?
Yeah, I did a lot of bricks during my training. So when I had the bikes, I would usually more than likely I'd get off and do a run.
Hmm.
Whether it was, 10 minutes or an hour. I had that training, yeah.
That, Laura, I'm just so you're just talking like Bob said nonchalantly about doing this. This is really impressive.
Oh,
So,
thank
all
you.
right. So now I want to
That's my
hear what happened
personality.
when when you came in on the bike and you racked your bike, headed out to the run. Tell us about what that was like. And I'll steal Bob's question. What was that first mile like?
It was like, how am I going to do 25 more? So my plan going into it was I was gonna, run, and then when I got to the aid stations, I just walked through.
Yeah, yeah,
I got to the run and I was struggling. The
yeah.
the run was a serious struggle.
Hmm.
So, and I was very well hydrated on the bike. So, after the first few miles, it was every porta potty. I had
Yeah.
to
Oh, okay.
let some hydration go.
Yeah, yeah.
Around.
Well, and it's funny you say that because I always think that first mile, even the first 2 or 3 miles, those are sometimes the hardest because you're like, I got 26 miles to go.
Yeah, it's a mental game for sure.
Yeah, yeah. But that's sort of a fun course to run because you get to see different people, passing in different directions. And did you have
Mhm.
some spectators down there?
Yeah, I saw my son in every transition. He hung out there all day. So
Yeah,
that was probably the highlight of my day,
yeah,
was seeing him. And then of course they were all at the finish line.
yeah.
But
And what
you're
was that like?
um relief.
Yeah,
just just I did it.
yeah,
It's over.
yeah. Yeah, I like that word relief
Accomplishment.
because on one hand, it's like, oh, you got to that finish line, and it's such a long day that it is sometimes just a relief to get there and be able to sit down afterwards.
And not get up for 2 days.
Right. It's like my legs, legs
Uh,
hurt.
It's like I can't do the curb. Just carry me to the hotel, please.
Well, and I really appreciate this because I know sometimes we say that Ironman finish is like the best. But a lot of times it's like that the best part doesn't come until you think back on it. So thinking back on it, what was it like?
It seems unreal. I mean,
Oh,
I can't believe I did that,
yeah.
you know?
The announcement, Laura Riccobene, you are in Ironman.
Yep.
How was that?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's why I said something I have not heard.
Yeah.
Did they get
So,
your net last name correct?
Oh shoot, I don't even know. I don't
Or-
think so.
so
So
what
looking,
what is up for the 2022 now that that you came back? And actually, before I ask that, why you took a break?
I did take a
What
break.
was, what was the break, and what made you want to come back?
So I'm a two-time surrogate and I've had a baby. So I was off for the baby and then the COVID hit and I just got comfortable, I guess,
no,
you know. So it's been a year now since I gave birth, so I'm just ready to
yeah,
get back in it.
no,
I'm
that's
just
good.
ready.
Cool.
So I did the club race now, and hopefully I can do the rest of the club races for the year. And I just want to get my consistency back,
Good.
and I want to have fun with it again.
Yeah, yeah,
The Ironman training, it was like I had the schedule, I did it,
yeah,
and I lost a little bit of the fun.
yeah.
But I'm ready. I'm ready to have fun again.
Well, and I think that that's good for people to hear is because it's a lot of work preparing for an Ironman, and
Yeah.
you've got family, you've got kids, and
Yep.
it's a lot, and it's not the end goal for everyone. It's the goal is to enjoy the sport,
Right.
and at
That's,
any distance is great.
yeah. Yep.
Are you racing on Saturday? Are you doing the rage?
I'm not. No.
Okay. What do you have coming up next?
Like I said, I don't have anything on the books. I just hopefully I can do the club races this year, and I just want to get out there and start moving again.
Well, what I love about our club races is that they have a different feel to them because they're smaller, but it is fun knowing everybody or just about everybody, and we've got a really good community. So looking back, uh, what advice was the best advice that you were given, even heading into an Ironman, or even prepping for something like Pumpkin Man, which is a huge challenge?
Advice and lessons learned. What did you learn in that process?
Oh my gosh. Don't give up.
Mm.
Just keep going.
I love it.
I mean, eat a payday. If you're on a long bike, eat a payday.
You've got everything simplified down to like, oh yeah, we'll just deal with it. Love that.
Just keep pushing on.
So which I know the Ironman is a big lift for training wise, but which endurance distance do you really seem to gravitate towards that you look forward to doing?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I like the sprints. I think I like the Olympic because I'm not a speed person. So
Mm.
I like the Olympic, and my favorite race was really the 70.3.
Oh, really?
I mean, because I did the full and I felt like doo-doo
Yeah.
after. But when I finished that 70.3, I felt good.
Yeah.
That was good. I felt good after the Olympic. The sprints, like I said, I'm not a speed person, so
That 70.3 is really in a sweet spot. It really is. And so that was Oceanside, right?
I did, yeah, Oceanside in 2019.
And when you did it, which swim course did they use? Was it in the harbor?
Well, we went out, I don't know what they call it. We went out through the ocean with the waves, and then we turned into the harbor.
Oh, okay. So you
Out in
had
the
the
harbor.
ocean, and then I think went back to the harbor, and then it's come back to the ocean again. So
Yeah,
how were you with the ocean swim?
I was terrified.
Oh,
I mean, I'm okay. I thought it was okay till I got in it, and those waves were pushing me back. But
oh,
once I got past the waves, it was good.
yeah, yeah,
That really got your heart going.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, there was no practice for that.
Mm.
Oh, and you had a good time too. You had a real good time.
Oh yeah, once I got out those waves, it was smooth sailing.
Yeah. The swimmer getting you kicked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other unique thing about Oceanside is that speed zone coming down the hill. How did you do with that?
Oh, I did fine. Like I said, I'm not speedy. I'm a tank. So when I go down the hill, I had no problem putting my brakes on.
Yeah, oh, I love it. And that's a fun run course too, right along the ocean and
Oh, beautiful.
back in the neighborhood. You like that?
I like the ocean breeze for sure.
Mm.
How do you like climbing on the bike? I mean, because that was some very steep hills on the
Yeah,
uh,
that was
bike.
tough. They warned me about that. I was warned about those, but
Yeah.
they didn't warn me enough. When
Well,
you're out there doing it, it's
yeah. Well, I always say if you can train out here in Las Vegas, you can race anywhere because we have the hills out here. So, where do you like to train around here?
normally I would just run around wherever I live. So I'm in a new neighborhood now, so I run around the neighborhood. I used to do the River Mountain Loop a bunch,
Mhm.
Union Pacific Trail, and I'm kind of right here by Pittman Wash, which isn't it's okay for running, but it's kind of hard to bike.
Mm.
What area
It's,
do
it's
you live
pretty
in
good.
now?
I'm in Henderson. I'm right by Sunset Park.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I actually do like the course when you're running on Lakeshore Drive for
Oh yeah,
yeah going out that way. So yeah, you're right. We have a lot of good places to run,
yeah.
and the Union Pacific Trail too. I love that.
Yeah.
It's
They're
great.
really mellow and beautiful, and it's
Uh,
no hills on.
Off the
that's great.
road.
Well,
Hmm.
I used to ride a lot too out by Red Rock when I had used to go out with the group, but
Hmm.
that's been a while. Yeah.
All right, so Laura, with your experience in sprint Olympics, halves and full, what advice do you give to that new triathlete getting into the sport?
Just enjoy it. Don't be
Yeah,
so serious. Just have a good time.
yeah.
Keeps you
That's
from
the
getting
key, isn't it?
Just keep it fun.
Yeah.
Has that uh, kept you from getting injured when you don't push it down too hard and
Probably,
you're going out enjoying it?
probably. I would think it's
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think the key message is enjoy the training and enjoy the racing
yeah.
because the training has to be fun, and if it's not fun, it's
You're not gonna do it.
not going to do it. That's right.
Like it's
Are
an
you gonna
extra
get
job.
burnt out?
Yeah.
You just get burnt out.
So it never became a job for you.
Right.
Oh, that's good. That's
Laura,
good.
this has been great talking with you. We saw each other at the at our club event, and I said we got to have Laura on our spotlight, because I think it's really neat to hear from you and how you got into triathlon, and that you've done all these different distances, and now you're trying to, you're working your way back into the sport, and finding that distance that you really enjoy doing. So, and that message of enjoy the training and enjoy the racing is so important.
I'm glad I heard that. For sure. Other people too,
But
probably.
I'm a little disappointed we didn't hear more from Charlie and Rosie.
Oh,
No.
you know what? They got a treat.
Oh, I love it. All right, Laura. Well, we will see you for sure at the next event, if not during some of the training. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. And I appreciate the insight as
Yeah.
far as for, enjoying the training and the racing.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.